You're listening to the Touch 'em Up podcast. I'm your host, Double M. On today's episode, we're going to be giving you my UFC 250 Nunes versus Spencer predictions, which takes place this upcoming Saturday night, June 6th, from Las Vegas, Nevada at the UFC Apex Institute, with the main event bout between the reigning, defending, double champ, women's MMA GOAT, Amanda the Lioness Nunes, as she goes on to face 8-1 prospect Felicia the Phenom Spencer in the main event. And then in the co-main event of the evening, we have the return of the former Bantamweight champion of the world, Cody No Love Garbrandt, as he goes on to face number 5 ranked top contender and longtime staple of the UFC's 135-pound bantamweight division, Raphael Assuncao. So without any further ado, let's get this started and step into the ring. All right, guys, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you liked that intro, and I hope you're ready for these predictions because I sure am ready. You know, this is a card I was really looking forward to giving you predictions on just because of how interesting the main card is. There are some good fights on the prelims as well, but mainly, you know, the main card is phenomenal, and it's really from top to bottom. There's not one bad fight on the card. I mean, the main event, you could say, is pretty bad, and I know a lot of people are going to throw, you know, Felicia Spencer down the drain and not give her a chance because she's going up against, you know, the women's bantamweight and featherweight champion, Amanda the Lioness Nunes, which I think I said bantamweight championship in the intro, which I'm wrong. It's for the 145-pound championship. So forgive me. I'm sure I'll get, you know, butchered for that in comments, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, you know, good card. We've got, it's really a showcase for the men's 135-pound division. I mean, you've got Sugar Sean O'Malley, you've got Corey Sandhagen, you've got Aljamain Sterling, you've got Cody Garbrandt, Raphael Assuncao, Brian Kelleher, Cody Stamen. I mean, it's really just a showcase for that 135-pound men's bantamweight division, and I can't wait for it. Good card, and yeah, I cannot wait for Saturday. But let's get it started. We're going to start out in the prelims. Up first in the light heavyweight division, we have Alonzo Menfield, who's undefeated in professional mixed martial arts with a record of 10 wins and no losses, going up against Devin Brown Bear Clark, who holds a record of 11 wins and 4 losses. You know, this is a good fight. And, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. Before I really looked into Devin Clark, I didn't give him a big shot in this fight. And that's not saying I'm picking him to win the fight. But he's a lot better on the feet and in close range than I gave him credit for. A lot of what I've seen from him is he tries to push forward in like a low style type of stance, lower his level, push forward and get you up against the fence and try to tire you out in a clinch position, or try to catch you as you try to circle away from the fence with either a left hook like he caught Alexander Rakic, or time that double jab right hand down the center. He's got big power in his right hand and a very solid left hook. And when you look at Alonzo Menfield, you know, undefeated in professional mixed martial arts, coming off of the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, this guy is phenomenal as well. He has good striking. He likes to throw some high kicks from the left and right side, you know, from orthodox or southpaw, but mainly he's looking to set you up for that power right hand. Alonzo Menfield's going to come forward, get in your face, and try to knock you out. That's what he does. He's also very good at tracking your movement. And that's one thing that I think a lot of people will take for granted. You know, against Paul Craig threw a spinning back kick to the head, a spinning back kick to the body. Then he tried to throw the spinning back kick again to the body with the right leg, and he circled with the kick and caught Paul Craig, knocked him off balance, jumped on him and got the finish via TKO. He also did this against another competitor, which I'm actually going to check their name really quick. I cannot remember who this guy was, but he did it twice. And this is something that I think Devin Clark's going to have to look out for. Now, do I expect him to throw a spinning back kick to the body? No, I'm not really looking for him to throw that. I think he's more of a boxing type of a boxing stylist. You know, he doesn't really throw a lot of spin kicks. He's more just trying to look for the hands and then tie you up against the fence. That was against Vincius Moreta, who holds a record of 9 wins and 4 losses. Devin Clark is 11-4 in professional mixed martial arts. But he's, you know, Alonzo Menfield is good, and he's going to try to finish you. There's no fight that Menfield has that he's not going to try to knock you out. He's going to look to land that right hand, and he's going to look to catch you when your defense is down and just drop bombs on you. He's going to look to finish you And yeah, and I think he's going to get the finish against Devin Clark. If I'm Devin Clark, I'm going to try to throw some good jabs, and then I'm going to try to lower my level, get in close, and try to push Alonzo Menfield up against the fence and tire him out. Menfield is a big, thick guy for that light heavyweight division. Big, thick legs, thick back. He's just a big guy. And with those guys, you have to try to tire him out. Yeah, use a lot of grappling to get all the blood to flow to their muscles and tire them out and weigh them down. And I think that's what Devin Clark's going to look to do. But I don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think Menfield's going to catch him. I think first round knockout for Alonzo Menfield. I think it'll be close for the first 2-3 minutes. I think that Clark will land some good shots because he does have good striking. A lot of people don't give him credit, but he can land good kicks, good power in his right hand, and good with that left hook against the fence. If I'm Devin Clark, I'm going to try to push you to the fence, tire you out, and then try to back away. And as you circle to get off the fence, I'm going to try to drop that left hook in on you. He used it to drop Alexander Rakic, and I think he's going to try it against Menfield. But I think Menfield's too quick. I think he throws too many punches and bunches, and I think he's going to catch Devin Clark with the right hand, drop him, and get the TKO finish in the first round. So first round TKO win for the undefeated Alonzo Menfield. Up next on the card, we move to the flyweight division in a fight I'm extremely excited for. The number 4 ranked longtime stablemate of the flyweight division, Jussier Formiga, who holds a record of 23 wins and 7 losses, is going up against the number 9 ranked Alex Perez, who holds a record of 23 wins and 5 losses in professional mixed martial arts. Really good fight here. Really good fight. You know, Formiga, his bread and butter is on the ground. If this guy gets you on the ground and gets in top position, whether it's half guard, whether it's side control, whether it's full mount, whether he gets your back on the feet and drags you to the ground, you do not want to be in any grappling exchanges with Jussier Formiga. And he's no slouch on the feet as well. You know, I think a lot of people discredit the striking of Jussier Formiga. And I'm not saying he's the better striker in this matchup, because I definitely think that Alex Perez is the better striker, but he's good at moving laterally and moving in and out on the feet. You know, he doesn't just stay stationary when he strikes. He doesn't just stand there and pop and pop and pop. He's good at moving left, moving right, circling, faking and feinting, and moving around the cage to set up his strikes and then eventually get underneath you and try to go for a takedown. He loves the body lock. He loves double legs and single legs against the fence. But, you know, Alex Perez is a dog, man. This kid is extremely, extremely good. Very, very good on the feet. He definitely has the striking advantage here. And very good low kicks from on the lead leg. I think he's going to definitely look to try to chew up the lead leg of Jussier Formiga, but he's going to have to look out for Jussier to time the low kick and shoot in for a takedown, either try to grab the single leg or try to just bum rush him as he throws the leg kick, crowd the kick, and take him down. But I think, you know, Alex Perez is good. He fought Joseph Benavidez and lost that fight, but he's coming off a win over Mark De La Rosa, and he just kind of put the hurt on this guy. I mean, and on the ground, you know, he's no slouch either. But I do give the advantage to Jussier Formiga on the ground, but I think that Perez is good enough defensively from the top and the bottom to stifle a lot of the attacks of Jussier Formiga. Now, would I expect him to try to take him down? No, I wouldn't. But Perez is good up against the fence with head on the inside singles and head on the outside single legs to take the opponent down and work from the guard with vicious, vicious ground and pound. He's so good with top control and top just dropping bombs on you from the top, whether it's half guard, full guard, or inside control. Just bop, 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 drops bombs on you. Very, very heavy shots, and that could be a problem against Jussier Formiga. But on the feet, I just think Perez is way better. And one thing you notice is Perez rarely ever drops that rear hand when the opponent's striking. He always keeps the lead hand out to try to measure you, throw that jab, measure, and then blocks with the rear hand, which is the right hand for Alex Perez, and then goes low kick. So he'll jab, outside low kick, tear up your leg. Jab, inside kick, outside low kick, kick to the body. Good double jab, right hand. Good ability to enter the pocket with the overhand right. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to pick Alex Perez to get the win. I think that he's good enough on the feet to stifle a lot of the entries of Jussier Formiga. He will strike Jussier, but it's usually to get on the inside and set up takedown attempts. But I think Perez will land that low kick, but he'll set it up with fakes and feints, so he gets Jussier Formiga to bite up top and freeze for a second and then chop with the low kick. I think he will be good enough to get up off the ground if Jussier Formiga gets him there. I don't think he's going to look to get on the ground, though. And I'm going to go with Alex Perez to actually get a finish. I'm going to go with a third-round TKO over Jussier Formiga. I know that Jussier is durable. He's fought some of the best guys in the sport, but I'm just picking him to win, man. I like Alex Perez. I think a lot of people should be invested in this kid, and I'm going to go with Perez to get the win via third-round TKO. All right, up next on the prelims, we have in the featherweight, is it the featherweight division? Yeah, so both of these guys are bantamweights, but the fight's going to be taking place at 135 pounds, and that is or 145 pounds. I'm sorry, formerly they were 135 pounds. You know, this is a great fight, really, really good fight, and a good addition to the card. And you've got Cody the Spartan Stamen, who holds a record of 18 wins, 2 losses, and 1 no contest, going up against Brian Boom Boom Kelleher, who just fought at, was it 249? I think it was, no, not 249. I think it was the card on May 16th. He fought on May 16th, which was that Wednesday card, and he dropped Hunter Azur, who was an undefeated prospect with a beautiful left hook. And this is a great fight, you know. When it comes down to breaking down the fight, you know, Cody Stamen is a phenomenal wrestler. He took down Aljamain Sterling when they fought, but he isn't just a wrestler. A lot of people who are great wrestlers, like Hunter Azur, like Chad Mendez. I wouldn't really throw Mendez into this category because Mendez did develop his striking working under Dwayne Ludwig with Bang Muay Thai. But Cody Stamen is a good traditional martial artist. Good round kicks to the body, some side kicks, rear lead leg roundhouse kicks. Good ability to enter, would try to land that right hand and then switch stance and land that left hook. Really good overall, all around is Cody Stamen. He's a perfect, well-rounded mixed martial artist. When it comes to Brian Kelleher, he's very good at switching stances, being light on the feet, and trying to fake and feint and get in on the opponent. But he's also good in the clinch and on the ground. You saw against, who did he beat just recently? Before he beat Hunter Azur, he beat, O'Day Osborne, I think. I think that was the guy's name. He beat O'Day Osborne. I think that was at UFC 246, maybe? I could be wrong. It might have been 232. I know it was. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go 246. I think it was UFC 246. He entered in, got control up against the fence from on O'Day Osborne, moved him up against the fence almost in that leg lock triangle mount position that Khabib Nurmagomedov does. Worked his way up, got the front headlock, and got the guillotine. Arming guillotine, got the guard. Went to his back and got the submission. So if this guy gets you in a front headlock and gets your neck, he can submit just about anybody. That's something Cody Stamen's going to have to look out for because he does like to shoot that traditional double leg that wrestlers do where they keep their head on the outside, lift the head, shoot with the head, and then turn the corner and get the takedown. If you shoot like that with your head on the outside, it's going to leave Brian Kelleher with an avenue to get that guillotine locked up and get the submission. If I'm Cody Stamen, I'm going to try to stay on the feet, land that crisp, clean jab that he has. He's very good with entering with that jab. He'll double it up. He'll go body head, and he always gets his head off the center line. That's one thing that you see a lot of people don't do with the jab is get their head off the center line when they throw it. A lot of strikers will just move in, pop the jab, and move in, kind of move their head a little bit side to side, but not really move off the center line when they throw the jab. Stamen will move out the center line and pop that jab, throw the right hand, switch southpaw, and then throw that left kick. He's more inclined to throw a round kick from the southpaw stance. Whenever he switches from orthodox to southpaw, it's to land that left kick either to the body or to the head. He has a lot of power with it, and I think he's going to look for it against Kelleher. Now, it's going to be hard to switch stance on Kelleher because Kelleher switches stances a lot too. You saw it against Tenin Barao. He'll move in, fake and feint. He'll switch southpaw, switch orthodox, switch southpaw, just to get you thrown off, and then he'll come in with those strikes up the middle, the 1-2, and obviously that beautiful left hook. He timed it off of a low kick, an inside low kick of Hunter Azur, kind of ate the low kick and then lunged in with that left hook and dropped him and finished him. That's one thing I think Stamen's going to have to look out for is that left hook. If he throws a jab and doesn't get his head off the center line, I think Kelleher can slip inside and land that left hook and drop Stamen. But I am going to give the advantage to Cody Stamen here. It's a close fight, but I think that the wrestling and speed advantage of Cody Stamann is going to be too much. Stamann's 18-2 overall with one draw coming against Song Yadong, I believe. And Kelleher's got a good record as well. 21 wins, 10 losses. He is a dog in this fight, and I would not be surprised if he pulls off the win here. But I think Cody Stamann's wrestling is going to be too much. I think he's going to be able to keep his head on the inside and shoot takedowns up against the fence. I think his striking and his movement on the feet and footwork is good enough to avoid a lot of the strikes of Brian Kelleher or get him with that jab and then shoot the takedown. I think he controls Kelleher on the ground, avoids submission attempts, and gets the win via unanimous decision. So I'm going to go with Cody the Spartan Stamann to get the win via unanimous decision. Up next, we have a fight in the middleweight division against 13-ranked the Hurricane Ian Heinisch going up against Gerald GM3 Meerschaert, who holds a record of 30 wins and 12 losses. I'm not too excited for this fight. I'm going to be honest. I don't really find Ian Heinisch that entertaining. Not to say he can't fight. He's a good fighter. He's got good striking and good wrestling, good ability to enter the clinch positions and control the opponent up against the fence. But I honestly think that Gerald Meerschaert is too much for Ian Heinisch here. I think Ian Heinisch does have, like I said, a good right hand, good ability to set up the right hand, but he's mainly looking to wrestle you. He's looking to push you up against the fence, tire you out, and make it a gritty fight. And with Gerald GM3 Meerschaert, he's very good everywhere and even good on the ground. He does get taken down, but he's very patient and he can work from the guard. He can reverse position on you. He can get top position and work for a submission. Even if he's behind on the scorecards, he can find a way to win. One thing I think that the Hurricane Ian Heinisch is going to have to look out for is that left kick to the body from Gerald Meerschaert. You've seen it multiple times. If he's in that southpaw stance, he's going to try to blast that left kick to the body. He has a lot of power in it, and it can take the wind out of a guy like Ian Heinisch. I think Heinisch is going to be the stronger guy and probably be able to outpower Gerald Meerschaert, but I think Meerschaert is good enough to stay patient and calm if he does get taken down and eventually either work for a submission or get back up to the feet and strike. With Gerald Meerschaert in terms of boxing, he does tend to get hit a lot because he does pull back with his head. He tries to go like a pull counter on the feet, but he will get hit every once in a while. I think Ian Heinisch can land on the feet and hurt Gerald Meerschaert, but I just think Meerschaert is the more well-rounded fighter here. And you saw that he had a lot of trouble with wrestling against Derek Brunson. And, Brunson's a phenomenal wrestler. But, Brunson was able to just kind of push him up against the fence, get that double underhook, and just control him and eventually, get the win via decision. I think that Gerald Meerschaert isn't that great. Isn't necessarily a better wrestler, but he's a better grappler. And I think he's going to just outpoint him on the feet, land that left kick to the body a lot. And I think Gerald Meerschaert's going to get the win here via a unanimous decision over the Hurricane Ian Heinisch. And then to wrap up the prelims, we have a featherweight bout between Alex Bruce Leroy Casares, who holds a record of 15 wins, 12 losses, and 1 no contest, going up against rising prospect 21-year-old, I believe he's 20 or 21 years old, Chase Hooper, who is undefeated in professional mixed martial arts with a record of 9 wins, no losses, and 1 no contest. This is a very interesting fight. And, Alex Casares, don't let the record, judge how good this guy is. He has a traditional martial arts style. Casares is going to look to enter in that traditional martial arts style, sideways stance, kind of like a Wonder Boy Thompson, but not that exaggerated. He'll move in, fake and feint, good lead high kicks, good switch kicks, 2-touch roundhouse kicks, switch kicks, roundhouse kicks to the body, good right hand, will switch stance, like I said, is a decent grappler, but I would definitely give the advantage in this matchup to Chase Hooper in terms of grappling all day. Chase Hooper's good on the feet. He's long, he's rangy. A lot of people call him Ben Askren's long-lost son, and you could see the resemblance definitely. You've even seen Chase Hooper call Ben Askren dad on social media, so I think that's kind of funny. But Chase Hooper is a phenomenal grappler. If this guy gets a hold of your neck or gets you on the ground, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, 100% a wrap. And, the thing about Chase Hooper is he will tie you up from any position on the ground. Even if you get him on the ground, he's still going to be able to find a way to tie you up. Very, very good from the mount. Locked up a mounted triangle in his first fight in the UFC, and landed some vicious elbows and ground and pound and got the finish And man, the guy's just phenomenal. He's good from the side control position. He'll eventually look to pass your guard and mount you. He's good at moving on the ground and good in the scrambles. Chase Hooper is going to be better than Alex Casares in the scrambles. On the feet, I give the striking advantage to Casares, but I do think that Chase Hooper is going to find a way to enter in, get into a body lock position, or shoot a takedown off of maybe a lazy kick from Casares. Maybe Casares tries to throw like a spinning back kick or a jumping roundhouse kicks, and Chase Hooper enters in, knocks Casares off balance and goes for a takedown. This kid is phenomenal off of his back and phenomenal getting on in top position as well. You do not want to grapple with Chase Hooper. And I think he submits Alex Casares. You've seen Casares get submitted multiple times in his UFC and MMA career. And I think that Hooper's good enough on the feet to find an entry, to get on the ground, get the back of Alex Casares, lock up the rear naked choke, and get the submission. So I'm going to go with Chase Hooper to get the win via a second round submission over Alex Bruce Leroy Casares and improve to 10-0. All right, up next, we're going to move to the main card. The main card, baby, and it starts off with a bang. In the bantamweight division, you have longtime stablemate and veteran of professional mixed martial arts going all the way back to the WEC days, Eddie Wineland, who holds a record of 24 wins, 13 losses, and 1 no contest, going up against the surging, undefeated Sugar Sean O'Malley. Is it time for the Sugar Show, or will Eddie Wineland find a way to put him out of his misery? You know, this is a good fight, and I did expect Sean O'Malley to get a higher ranked opponent. I expected him to get somebody in that top 15, but Eddie Wineland is no slouch. He's coming off a TKO win at UFC 238 against Grigory Popov, I think the guy's name is. He was able to find his range, land that vicious overhand right and left hook, drop him, and get the finish. I believe it was a first round TKO in his hometown of Chicago. Wineland's good, but one thing I think that will be a problem for him is the kicking game and the angles of Sugar Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley will enter in an orthodox stance, throw that lead leg side kick, switch stance to southpaw, try to land that left hand down the center, fake and feint, constantly switch stances, and look to set up kicks. He throws every type of kick you can imagine, spinning back kicks, jumping roundhouse kicks, tornado roundhouse kicks, and he's good with boxing as well. He's good with his hands, he's good with his feet, and he's also a good grappler. However, I would give the slight advantage in the grappling to Eddie Wineland. I think if he's going to win this fight, he's going to try to push Sean O'Malley up against the fence and tire him out, get him in the body lock, and eventually take him down and try to work from the ground. But I just think Eddie Wineland's outmatched here. He does have a chance, and he's gritty, and he's he is hard-headed enough to get in and try to get the finish. But I think that Sean O'Malley's just too good for Eddie Wineland here, man. I think, like I said, the front leg side kicks are going to be good to keep Eddie Wineland at range and stop him from being able to close that distance. I think that Sugar Sean O'Malley is going to immediately open up with a kick, whether it's a roundhouse kick, a side kick to the knee, a spinning back kick. I think he's going to open up with kicks right away just to keep Eddie Wineland on that back foot and stop him from being able to move in with his power punches. And I think he's going to finish him in the first round. I'm going with Sugar Sean O'Malley to get the win via a first-round knockout. I think it's similar to the finish we saw in his fight against Renan Barão. I think Wineland's going to try to fake and feint, move his head to try to get Sean O'Malley to freeze for a second, lower his level, boom, get caught with a spinning back kick, get dropped, and get finished via TKO. Sugar Sean's just on a different level right now. I wouldn't count out Eddie Wineland, but I just think this is sort of a mismatch for him. I think the angles, the stance switches, the ability to move side to side, I think it's going to set up Eddie Wineland for a head kick. He's going to get dropped, and he's going to get finished in the first round by Sugar Sean O'Malley. Up next on the main card in the welterweight division, we have longtime stablemate of the welterweight division and former top-ranked contender Neil Magny, who holds a record of 22 wins and 7 losses, going up against the rising contender in the welterweight division, Anthony Rocco Martin, who holds a record of 17 wins and 5 losses. This is a great fight. Great fight, without a doubt. Neil Magny, the key to this fight for Magny is going to be fighting from a distance and fighting from range. If Neil Magny wants to win, he's going to have to stay at range, land that crisp jab, 1-2s, 1-2-3, and round kicks and front kicks up the middle. I think the front kick and the teep kick to the body from Neil Magny is going to be a key for him against Anthony Rocco Martin. You see Rocco Martin, he usually fights in a low stance to try to avoid takedowns, and then he pushes forward and tries to throw big punches and land high kicks. One thing that Rocco Martin's very good at is throwing the right hand and then using that right hand to hide the right high kick as it comes up over the shoulder. It's a very sneaky technique, and he's landed it in his career a bunch of times, and he's good at landing that 1-2. He's got clean striking. He's got good takedown defense. I do think that if Magny tries to shoot on him, he will be able to defend a lot of the takedowns of Neil Magny, considering the fact that he fought Damian Maia and was able to stop a lot of his takedown attempts and mainly make it a striking match. He did get taken down in the fight, I think once or twice, but he was able to stay calm on the ground and get up back to his feet and work on the feet with the striking, and then have Maia kind of have to find a way to enter in. Eventually, Maia did get him to the ground, but he was good at defending the takedowns and then reversing position on the ground. So Magny is going to have a hard time getting him on the ground. However, I think the key for Magny, like I said, is keeping it at range. He's going to have to try to throw front kicks up the middle, jabs, long attacks, the 1-2 from range, the front kick, the teep kick, and the push kick to the body is going to be good for a guy like Neil Magny against Rocco Martin. I do think Rocco Martin does have a chance in this fight, but I think he's outmatched. I think Magny is on a different level. You saw him come back against Li Jingliang, and he just put it on him, man. His pace and pressure is going to be too much for Anthony Rocco Martin. He's constantly pushing forward. Good jab, good 1-2. Bop, 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 bop. He's just constantly setting up shots, and I think he's going to drown Anthony Rocco Martin, use a lot of volume to pick him apart and land teep kicks to the body, and I think he's going to get the win via unanimous decision over Anthony Rocco Martin. I like Rocco Martin. I'll be rooting for him. He's coming out of Illinois, another Illinois boy. You got to represent, but I just think he's outmatched here. And I'm gonna have to go with Neil Magny to get the win via unanimous decision. All right, guys, and the next fight we're going to predict is the one I'm looking forward to the most out of the entire card. I think it's this fight and the co-main event that really, really just sell this card for me. And this is in the bantamweight division. The number 4 ranked Corey the Sandman Sandhagen, who holds a record of 12 wins and 1 loss in professional mixed martial arts, going up against the Funk Master, Aljamain Sterling, who's ranked number 2 in the bantamweight division and holds a record of 18 wins and 3 losses. This is a phenomenal fight. This is one of the best fights you could make in that UFC's 135-pound bantamweight division. This fight is phenomenal. Corey Sandhagen, he's coming off a huge win over Raphael Assuncao at UFC 241. Now, you look at Aljamain Sterling, he lost a fight to Raphael Assuncao, but it was early on in his career. He's coming off 2 back-to-back wins. He lost via knockout to Magic Marlon Moraes. He tried to shoot a takedown, got hit with a switch left high kick, or a switch left kick, but really mainly the knee, dropped him, and that gave us the famous dab knockout. But after that, he came back. He won against Jimmy Rivera, just put a pace and pressure on him, outstruck him on the feet, and just beat him from pillar to post. Then he had a fight at UFC 238 against Pedro Munoz, and I was actually there live in attendance for that fight, and he looked phenomenal. Munoz did have some decent success with low kicks against Aljamain Sterling, trying to attack that lead leg. He's very good with chopping low kicks, and Pedro Munoz used that to his advantage in that fight. But Funkmaster just came and put the pressure on him, jab, lead elbow, right hand, left high kick, switch stance into the drop step right hook. 1-1, pop, 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 pop. Front kicks up the middle, push kicks, jab, 1-2. He uses more volume. He strikes with more volume and has a higher output than does his opponent in Corey Sandhagen. But the thing about Sandhagen, this guy is phenomenal. A lot of people, don't know him too well because he hasn't been around for too long, but he's undefeated in the UFC, and he's coming off wins over John Lineker, Raphael Assuncao, just those two in general, really, really, Yuri Alcantara. He's beat some very, very good guys in his career. And when it comes to Corey Sandhagen, I think the key for him in this fight is going to be to make sure he's defensively responsible in all areas of the striking in this fight. On the ground, I believe that Corey Sandhagen is a brown belt under Travis Lutter, and I think that Funkmaster Aljamain Sterling is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I think that the grappling and the scrambles with both of these guys are going to be really good. I do give a slight advantage on the ground to Aljamain Sterling just because I think if he gets the back of Sandhagen, we have seen Sandhagen in some trouble with submissions. He got stung a little bit at the end of the fight against John Lineker, and then Lineker locked up a guillotine, but Sandhagen was able to fight out of it and reach the end of the fight. He almost got caught in an armbar against another one of his opponents, but against Raphael Assuncao, he just shut down Assuncao. And that was really impressive for me. On the feet, he constantly is faking and feinting. He'll move left just to switch to southpaw. Or as he circles, he switches stances. Some guys will switch stances in the open. They'll throw a shot with the right hand, switch to southpaw, step back, switch back to orthodox. But with Sandhagen, he switches stances on angles. He'll move in, fake and feint. He'll move to his left, switch southpaw, boom, pop that left hand. He'll move to his right, so he'll move. Let's say he's in an orthodox stance, right? He'll fake and feint. He'll pop you with that jab, try to land the body kick. He'll go step to his right and switch southpaw. Now the left hand's the power hand. Bop, bop, bop. Very, very good left hook to the body. That's probably one of his best punches. Left hook to the body and right low kick are probably the most effective striking techniques that Corey Sandhagen uses. I think he's going to look to exploit the low hands of Aljamain Sterling and then the lack of defense. I'm not saying he's not good defensively. Sterling doesn't get hit too much. He's good defensively, but he keeps his hands very low, almost at chest level when he strikes. You don't ever really see Aljamain Sterling keep his hands up. They're kind of low, almost like that Notre Dame style of like the Fighting Irishman style, where he'll keep the hands kind of low and just kind of move forward, move his head, try to get on the inside, pop, 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 and just constantly just throw volume. And like I said, switch high kick, left side, drop step into the right hook. But I think the low hands of Sterling are going to be to his detriment against a guy like Corey the Sandman Sandhagen. Sandhagen is so good everywhere the fight goes. Even against the Assuncao, I wouldn't say he out-grappled the Assuncao, but he was very good in the scrambles and good enough to get out of some tough positions against the Assuncao and stay calm on the ground. So in the grappling, I'm really excited to see how the grappling goes between Sandhagen and Sterling, because you don't really know who's going to get the advantage on the ground. Like I said, I give a slight advantage to Sterling if he's able to get the back, if he's able to maintain top position. But against a guy who scrambles so well and is so good defensively like Corey Sandhagen, I think that even if it does go to the ground, it'll eventually get back up to the feet. I think the volume and wide shots of Sterling could work against Sandhagen, because you saw Lineker catch him with some of the wide shots that he threw. But Lineker's just a different kind of striker than is Aljamain Sterling. Sterling mixes it up a lot more. But I think that Sterling is going to be better in terms of volume, but Sandhagen is better in terms of technique and being defensively responsible. And I think that's what carries him to the win here against Sterling. I think Sterling's going to throw a lot of punches, a lot of kicks, but I think that Sandhagen's going to constantly switch from southpaw to orthodox, orthodox to southpaw, get on angles that Aljamain Sterling isn't used to seeing on the feet, land that left hook to the body, try to go jab, left hook, land that right long body kick, and then just kind of back up and switch as he backs up, pop him with shots, be defensively responsible, and just get the win. I think Sandhagen beats him. I think he outstrikes him and gets the win via unanimous decision. Like I said, Sterling's great. Sterling's good on the ground. Sterling's good on the feet. He's got a lot of good volume. Throws some weird unorthodox attacks. He actually does throw a front kick, and then he'll step forward and then go with the spinning back fist. You see that from another guy in the bantamweight division who's going to be fighting Jose Aldo here pretty soon, and that's Piotr Jan. He likes to come in with a shot, with a kick, and then spinning back fist. You see it with Cody Garbrandt as well, which we're going to be talking about in a second here. He likes to go kick, and then as the opponent enters to close the distance, he'll throw a back fist. I think that could work against a lot of guys, but I don't see that working against a guy like Corey Sandhagen. I think Sandhagen's footwork and defensive ability to pull back from shots, pull, slip, pull and just move out of the way and deflect shots with his arms and then pop them with that jab, the 1-2, the low kicks on the inside and the outside of the leg, and the body kicks of Sandhagen are going to be a problem. And I think he gets the win via unanimous decision. I just think he's better. And I know it's tough go for Aljamain, but I don't think he loses like that much stock in this fight. Obviously, I think the winner of this fight would probably fight the winner of Aldo versus Jan. So the winner of this fight will more than likely get a title shot. But, it's the UFC. You never really know. But I'm going with Corey the Sandman Sandhagen to get the win via unanimous decision. Now we move to the co-main event of the evening, and we stay in the men's 135-pound bantamweight division. We've got the number 5 ranked contender, longtime stablemate of 135 pounds, Raphael Assuncao, who holds a record of 27 wins and 7 losses, going up against the number 9 ranked and former bantamweight champion, Cody No Love Garbrandt, who holds a record of 11 wins and 3 losses, but is coming off 3 back-to-back defeats. This is a phenomenal fight, and it's a tough fight for both guys. I think Assuncao's coming off 2 losses, and Garbrandt's coming off 3 back-to-back losses. And, for Garbrandt, it's really tough because he came in and had the best fight of his career against Dominic the Dominator Cruz. And I'm actually going to be doing a breakdown. I think I called it the Anatomy of Combat. I was supposed to do it a couple months ago. I have all the notes for that fight breakdown. I'm going to break down, rounds 1 through 5, the whole entire fight and what Cody Garbrandt was able to do to kill the king and Dominic Cruz. But besides the point, he just looked phenomenal. He was constantly moving, switching stances, cutting off Cruz on angles when he knew he was going to try to dart or shift one way or the other. He was always following him and meeting him halfway to cut him off from his normal movement patterns. And, he's fallen on some hard times. He lost at UFC 217 against TJ Dillashaw, got caught with a lead high kick, got dropped, and then Dillashaw kind of faked and feint, entered with the right hand, and then dropped that left hook. I think it was a right hand, left hook, right hook, and caught Cody Garbrandt on the chin and knocked him out in the second round. And then they had the rematch between Garbrandt and Dillashaw, and it looked like Garbrandt was fighting a little bit better in that fight, more light on the feet, type of style, very, combination heavy striking, but he got drawn into a brawl, went boom, 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 and Dillashaw just pulled back, counter, pull back, counter, pull back, counter, and dropped Cody Garbrandt, jumped on him with the ground and pound, got him in the tie clinch, knees to the head, and eventually finished him off in the first round. And then he lost to Pedro Munoz at UFC 235. Again, got drawn into a brawl. He got hit with a headbutt by Munoz, and that kind of just threw him off. He jumped in, tried to go for the kill, and got countered like 3 times with that overhand right, and eventually got dropped and finished. So this is a must-win situation for both guys. But if I would have to say one guy has to win, it's got to be Garbrandt. I think if Garbrandt loses this fight, and if he gets finished, it's even worse because you're coming off 4 back-to-back losses by knockout. So, it's not good for your health and it's not good for your standings in that bantamweight division. But, I like the fight. And a lot of guys, discount how good Assuncao is. Assuncao is very good in the grappling and very good on the feet. He's just a very good, well-rounded mixed martial artist. And he's deceptively quick. A lot of guys will say that, Cody Garbrandt's so fast, but Assuncao's very quick too. He's very quick with that lead 3 to follow with that right cross. So he'll enter with that hook, kind of a slap hook, which will direct the opponent and then pop that right hand. He did it against Marlon Moraes in the first fight, which he won. And then obviously he had another fight against Marlon and he lost the fight, but that's how he entered and that's how he dropped Marlon. It was an enter with a 3, pop. The 3 directed him towards the right hand. He dropped it in and, dropped him. But, the fight continued. He still won the fight. One thing with Assuncao is he's a counter striker. He doesn't really move forward too much. He likes to fight off of your mistakes and then go in with combinations and power shots. He'll let you you miss a right hand, he'll counter, right, left hook. He'll switch southpaw with, throw that straight left, switch southpaw, and then he'll try to counter you. You throw a bad low kick, pop. He's not a combination striker. He's more of a 1-2 shot kind of guy. He'll throw the jab, throw the 1-2, throw the uppercut. He doesn't throw in combination. The key for Garbrandt in this fight, and obviously we've talked about it before, he's training with Mark Henry now. He's added Mark Henry to the camp. Mark Henry has trained guys like Magic Marlon Moraes. He's trained guys like Edson Barbosa. He's trained guys like Frankie Edgar. So Garbrandt has the advantage of having fought somebody or having trained with somebody who trained somebody to beat Raphael Assuncao. And one thing I think that Mark Henry is going to tell Cody Garbrandt is to use his footwork, obviously get on his bike, be light on the feet, only enter when you want to throw combinations. Don't ever throw just one shot unless maybe you're just throwing a jab to keep Assuncao at range. Just pop, pop, pop. But it's going to be combinations for Garbrandt, and it's going to be feints. Fakes and feints have given Assuncao probably the most trouble in his mixed martial arts career. More trouble than anything is the fakes and the feints. Because if Assuncao is looking to counter you, if you can throw fake a jab, fake a right hand, fake a 1-2, and then throw a jab, fake a jab, pop 2 jabs, the fakes are going to draw out the counters of Raphael Assuncao and are going to make it harder for him to counter because he's going to be gun shy. He's going to be waiting for you to throw. You throw a fake, it's going to make him freeze, and then he's going to throw. So that split second hesitation is going to be big for Garbrandt. And I think Garbrandt's going to be looking to use fakes and feints from top to bottom in this fight. When it comes to the grappling, like I said, I would give the advantage to Assuncao, but Garbrandt is a great grappler. We don't see it much, but we saw it against Cruz. If you're out of position, he will come in and try to take you down. He's a good wrestler, a very, very decorated wrestler. And I think he might try to grapple with Assuncao. Do I think that would be the smartest option? No, I don't. I don't think grappling with Raphael Assuncao would be, the smartest decision. I think try to keep it on the feet and try to throw combination striking and use fakes and feints. For Assuncao, he does have a lot of power in his shots. If he connects on the chin of Cody Garbrandt, he could knock him out. Just like if Garbrandt connects on the chin of Assuncao, he could knock him out. Either guy could knock out the other guy in this fight. It's a very close matchup, and it's phenomenal matchmaking for both guys. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to go with Cody Garbrandt. I think that Garbrandt adding Mark Henry to the camp is going to have his defensive boxing and footwork on a different level. I think it's going to add a little bit of swagger to the step of Cody Garbrandt and a little bit of a higher fight IQ than we've seen Garbrandt pursue in other fights. If you look at his interviews that he's done with Brett Okamoto on ESPN MMA and in Gorilla Wear, he did an interview recently talking about he needs to get back to fighting technical. The one thing you can't do, or the one thing you're looking to do against Garbrandt is to get him to fight fight with emotion. And that's his biggest downfall. If Assuncao can tag Garbrandt with a shot and get him to just go guns blazing, he's going to catch him with a shot and he's going to knock him out. But I think Garbrandt's going to come into this fight, know he has to win this fight. There's no going back. You lose this fight, I don't know where you go from here. I really don't. But I think he's going to come in with a new resurgence in his career. And I think we're going to see him fight similar to how he fought in that Dominic Cruz fight. I think he's going to be light on the feet. He's going to be looking to fake and feint and then enter and counter and land combinations on Assuncao, fake and feint to get him to stop from throwing a lot of combinations. With Assuncao, I think you got to be trying to set up that power right hand. You got to try to get Garbrandt emotional, and you have to go with low kicks. Garbrandt had problems with low kicks against Pedro Munoz. I think that Assuncao is going to see that, and he's going to try to land low kicks. And I just think Garbrandt gets the job done here. I think that he fights technical. He gets back to how he fought against Dominic Cruz. He pops the jab, fakes and feints, gets Assuncao to freeze up and land some counter shots. And I think that Garbrandt wins via a second round TKO. I think he catches Assuncao and drops him, jumps on him, and gets the TKO finish, and Garbrandt is back in the running. So second round TKO win for Cody No Love Garbrandt. Up next in the main event of the evening for the Women's Featherweight Championship, you have the reigning, defending double champ Amanda the Lioness Nunes, who holds a record of 19 wins and 4 losses in professional mixed martial arts, defending against Felicia the Phenom Spencer, who holds a record of 8 wins and 1 loss. To be honest, this is a tough fight, and it's a lot closer than people give Felicia Spencer credit for. There's so many people who, whenever they see Amanda Nunes' name, they immediately throw their opponent to the wayside and say, oh, she's not going to do anything. She's the best of all time. She can knock her out. She's going to knock her out. She's going to finish her. Nobody beats Nunes. Nobody beats Nunes. It's almost like the Rousey effect from when Rousey was the champion. Whenever Ronda would fight somebody, it was, no, nobody's going to beat her. No, she's better than everybody. No, Holly Holm has no chance. Everybody's going to get eaten alive. Eventually, somebody comes along and exploits the weaknesses of the champion, and then, they're off to the races, and then they jump bandwagons to the other person. I think Felicia Spencer is the girl to do that. I'm picking Felicia Spencer to beat Amanda Nunes, and here's why. Nunes on the feet is going to be better in terms of power. She's going to have better technique. But we saw her have trouble with grappling against Germaine de Randamie. Germaine de Randamie was able to lock up a triangle choke. I believe it was like a mounted triangle armbar and almost submit Amanda Nunes. Now, Germaine de Randamie is not known for her grappling skills. She's not known for being able to grapple. She's known for being able to strike. And the fact that she was able to put Nunes in trouble with that makes me think that if Felicia Spencer gets a hold of her back or gets top position, if Amanda overcommits on a strike and gets taken down, she's going to get submitted by Felicia Spencer. Felicia has your back. You're in trouble. I don't care who you are in that women's division. You saw her fight Cyborg. Obviously, Nunes finished Chris Cyborg with strikes on the feet. Cyborg overcommitted. She countered, dropped her, and put her to sleep. But Cyborg also fought that fight extremely emotionally, with extreme emotion, and overcommitted and just tried to wing shots. If you wing shots, you're going to get countered. Amanda Nunes countered her and finished her. Felicia Spencer's good on the feet as well. She's a better grappler, but she's good with her kicking technique. Kind of like a traditional Taekwondo style of stance. She'll throw that side kick, throw lead roundhouse kicks, bop, 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 but she's looking to take you down. She's looking to get your back, and she's looking to choke you out. And I think she does that against Nunes. I think she's going to try to fight a point fighting type of style on the feet. That side kicks to the knee, front kicks, round kicks, jab, move, jab, 1, 2, move. I think she's going to look for Amanda to counter, to commit on the right hand. She's going to duck underneath, get a takedown. Amanda's going to try to get back up. She's going to take her back, sink it in, get the rear naked choke, and get the submission victory. I'm going to go with a third round submission win for Felicia the Phenom Spencer to become the new women's featherweight champion and beat the GOAT Amanda Nunes. I think the jiu-jitsu is a huge factor here. And it's not like Felicia Spencer can't strike. If she was phenomenal at jiu-jitsu and had no striking whatsoever, then it's Amanda Nunes all day. But the fact that she's good enough on the feet, she'll throw unorthodox attacks like knees, like elbows. She'll throw lead elbows as an opponent tries to close the distance. I think the elbows against Amanda Nunes could be trouble if Amanda just tries to run in there and rush her. It's a tough fight. It's an uphill battle, but I'm going with Felicia the Phenom Spencer to get the win via third round submission. I think she gets her back, like I said, locks in the rear naked choke, and becomes the new women's featherweight champion. Yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for my predictions. Like I said, I'm extremely excited for the card. I can't wait for it. Saturday can't come soon enough, and I hope you like my predictions. And just very quickly, I'm going to throw in my friend's predictions. My friend Duke, we've had him on the podcast before. I don't know if you remember listening to the Stranger Things episode I did a while back after season 3 ended. But his predictions for the card, he just wanted to throw them out there, and they're actually pretty similar to mine. So my friend has Menfield, Perez, Brian Kelleher, Gerald Mearshart, Alex Casares, Sugar Sean O'Malley, Neil Magny, Corey Sandhagen, Raphael Assuncao, and Amanda Nunes. So some of them differ, but some of them are the same. I just figured it'd be fun. We'll come back to you and tally it up at the end of the next episode after this fight card happens. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for listening. This episode will be up on YouTube and anywhere the audio podcast is distributed. That means Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Overcast, anywhere you can get your audio podcast, you can tune in and listen to Double M and the Touch 'Em Up podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Obviously, get this out to anybody you know. We've talked about this 100 times. Get it out to anybody you know who's a fan of professional wrestling, a fan of mixed martial arts, a fan who's learning martial arts, somebody who's trying to get into mixed martial arts or professional wrestling, get it out to them. Your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your coworkers, anybody you know, tell them about the Touch 'em Up podcast. And most of all, don't forget to leave a review. Without reviews, without positive support, the Touch 'em Up podcast can't grow to the lengths we need it to grow to. Get on Apple Podcasts, get on Spotify, get on Google, get on any podcast app you can, and leave a review for the Touch 'em Up podcast. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. It means the world that you guys tune in and listen to these episodes every week or bi-weekly or however you tune in. I'm your host, Double M. This is the end of my UFC 250 predictions, and I'm out, guys. Have a good night, all right?